Happen. As I count on your understanding and massive support through your investments, just know that we have built a solid foundation to house your investment. We are now inviting you to build the future with us, which is a new industrialized Imo. Imo State is no longer on the rise. Imo has risen. By attending this summit, you can be said to be at the right place at the right time. But let's not see this as a mere chance occurrence. I see it as the coming together of opportunity and preparedness. And I want you to hold firmly to this. Imo State is willing, Imo State is ready and able to house your investments, no matter how big. Finally, let me ask, what happens when investment meets opportunity? My answer is business happens. So let us talk business, not just business. I mean serious business, the type that transforms economies, the type that creates wealth for the people and produces maximum return on investment.
Former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and all the Ministers of the Economy, I welcome all the members of the Imo State Executive ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, Prime Minister of Mauritius, President of Nigeria. I'd like to welcome the President of Botswana. Your Excellency, it is a pleasure that I welcome all sisters. Welcome to the 2025. I welcome the Imo State Economic Summit, the global and regional leaders in banking, development finance, infrastructure, all of you, to a summit organized by the third position Imo State as a hub for scalable business activity. You're welcome. So I'd like to also welcome very clearly to Imo, the anchoring of this event.
Your title, Unlocking the Economic Potential of Imo through Partnership, Investment and Innovation, it captures precisely the direction of economic policy under the administration of President Tinubu. And you know, you've talked about reforms. We know that the impact of these reforms on the Nigerian economy is clear, is measurable. The strategic role of the states and the subnational governments is driving growth. The expansive financial intervention available to businesses and households. And finally, I'll also talk a little bit about the Imo's potential, all very quickly. So we know the economy is growing faster than it has for a decade or so across all sectors, particularly industry, particularly agriculture is much faster. So that what we have now is that from about 2% growth before this administration, it is now 4% per annum growth is what we're looking at in the Nigerian economy. So Nigeria's economy is moving, and it's moving in the right direction. But our target is not 4%. The target set for us is 7% per annum, because that's more than double the rate of population growth. It means we'll be lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty. And we need scaling of private and public investment to get there. And that's why we are gathered here today. Of course, you know the important fiscal outcomes that have followed from the reform process. Chiefly, there has been a doubling of funds available to the states. There has been an 86% increase in funds available, a 66% increase in funds available to the local governments. And accordingly, the federal government has also benefited from correcting the distortions in the economy and allowing revenues to flow directly to the government purse. Inflation is being tamed. Consecutively, inflation has declined to, in the last quarter, by October, was about 16%, after several consecutive months of easing. And likewise, the average Nigerian household is spending about 50% of their income on basic needs, compared to over 90% before the advent of the recent reforms.
As we reflect on the task before us, an African proverb reminds us that when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. This proverb teaches us that even the most complex challenges can be overcome when we work together. Partnership multiplies strength. Cooperation creates possibilities. Collective effort turns potential into progress. This summit embodies the truth. Partnership is key to sustainable progress. Collective effort is the foundation of a long-term transformation. If Imo State is fully unlocked, its economic potential, three pillars must guide our effort: partnership, investment, and innovation. Honorable Governor, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, no society advances alone. No government succeeds in isolation. The greatest development stories in history were built on cooperation between the public sector, the private sector, and communities. Imo State has the opportunity to build a new alliance that bring together government, investors, researchers, entrepreneurs, and global partners within the shared framework of progress.
Thank you. Bold policies that actually the government has taken today, the exchange rate, the removal of the fuel subsidy, so many other things that the government has actually, put out there. But Nigeria is like a scratch card. You only see the good of it when you scratch the card. So some of us that we have already scratched the card, we are seeing the results. We must really thank Mr. President for his leadership. We must thank the government for bringing out these policies. And I'm sure there are so many other policies that are going to roll this in. But one advice that I have is that most of our own entrepreneurs, please invest at home. What attracts some of us is the good governance, rule of law, good policies that the government has actually put down right there. We will be one of your biggest investors in Imo, so please tell me which area you want us to invest, we'll invest. Thank you very much.
President Bank is building a multi-million-dollar world-class quality infrastructure near the airport for testing, inspection, and certification of oil and gas and petrochemical products, as well as agricultural products. This is one of 3 such projects President Bank is investing in Nigeria, one in Ogun State and the other in Kaduna State. This project will support the production and export of quality compliant products for export to the global markets. Afreximbank, working with Nexim Bank, supported the Nigerian Navy for a comprehensive mapping of Nigerian waterways for safe navigation, to make it easier for us to use our waterways to trade amongst ourselves and to export our goods. The Orashi River benefited from that mapping exercise, paving the way for Governor Uzodinma's audacious project of dredging the river to enable seagoing container vessels to berth in a port to be developed upriver at Oguta.
Africa sits on the world 30% reserve of the global reserve of minerals in the world. Africa has a young population. Africa is a continent of hope by the sheer virtue of the fact that Africa has risen. Africa has risen because Africa is laying the foundation for the youth of Africa to have hope. And this hope comes with the leadership. And I'm very happy that President Orama has just mentioned this. Africa needs the leadership to take the youth by the hand into the current century and of course beyond. And one thing I will say as well, and I have mentioned the capitalization of the continent. We have said that Africa, if you look at the GDP of the entire continent, it is less than that of NVIDIA, which capitalizes at 5 trillion as we speak. So this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable for many reasons, and I think it is time that Africa takes her destiny in her hand. And if you look at a country like Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria, 1 in 5 African is Nigerian. And this will stand to rise because by 2050, 1 in 2 working age adults will be African. The 1 in 4 will be African, and by 2100, 1 in 2 will be African. And you can imagine in terms of demography what this represents in terms of potential. And Nigeria is a powerhouse. I have seen this country at work. I have seen the talent of the people. I have seen the energy in Lagos. I've seen the energy in Abuja. In all the places I've gone around Nigeria, it is a power hub in the making.
Is that right? Fantastic. You're blessed. And I think it's very, very good that you have such high levels of literacy. That's a fantastic. Congratulations to everybody involved in that. I got to tell you, there are parts of Africa, sadly, where female illiteracy is still running at more than 50%, right? But not here. Thank you. Congratulations. It's to unleash the potential. I think what the former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said was completely right. To unleash the potential of this whole continent, every girl in Africa has got to get access to the same education as every boy. Number one. It helps, by the way, that you have the rule of law. The rule of law. I want you to know that when I decided to come to Owerri, I read some stuff, and there were people who were saying, there were maybe some security problems in Nigeria. Have you heard that? And I said, well, I'm going to go anyway. And let me ask you, do you feel safe today here at this wonderful conference? Yes, we all feel safe, don't we? I feel perfectly safe. Thank you, Governor Hope, for what you're doing.
All right, do you have the picture? Okay, so while you are still standing there, thank you, man, thank you. We will take the national pledge to end the opening plenary. We'll take the national pledge. Shall we rise? Yes. To be faithful, loyal, and honest. To serve Nigeria with all my strength. To defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Now, before you go to the exhibition, remain seated and allow His Excellencies, Your Excellencies, to proceed to other matters. Please remain seated and allow them proceed to other matters. Everyone, please remain seated for now. Everyone, please remain seated for now. The exhibition is this way. Everyone, please remain seated for now. The exhibition is this way to my left. Just remain seated briefly. We'll be back here at 3. Let's also acknowledge Ineka Joyce Enang, represent Group Head Corporate Banking and Specialized Businesses, representing the Group MD of Premium Trust Bank. Please free the space for His Excellencies to make, and Royal Majesties to make their way. Photographers, free the space. We are back at 3:40 to continue with proceedings. We have 2 plenary, we have a fireside chat. Thank you.